Next one is not a trade, but rather just a free agent signing. Whatevs. Randall Cobb, who is in a contract year, signs with the Seattle Seahawks.
Interesting.
They need wide receiver. Even though
Okay.
Cobb is not the traditional outside the number stretch the field guy, he's a definite weapon that they haven't had since they lost Golden Tate and they got rid of Percy.
That could be. That one's hard for me to fathom, but okay.
That would definitely shake up the power structure of the NFC. As right now, for my money, Cobb and Jordy Nelson are the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL.
They are, indeed.
Even though the Vikings held both of them to a combined less than 100 yards last week, I don't even know.
Thanks for screwing with my fantasy football team, by the way. I appreciate that more than you
It's
know.
that Zimmer hellfire defense. I keep telling you. I mean, you can't control it, except for when we're on the road.
Oh.
All right, 2 trades left. This one is a little bit hot as they are planning to part ways, but maybe Ryan Grigson steps in and be like, oh, no. I'm not afraid to make a move, and Trent Richardson is not working out. Marshawn Lynch gets traded to the Indianapolis Colts.
Holy crap. I would hate that.
2 beast modes back there, Lynch and Andrew Luck.
I would hate it.
Have an actual run game.
I'd cry. I would cry real tears.
Just give them the AFC South for the next 10 years. Just sign off on it.
Check. I hate them. Why do they get everything? Why do they...
Well, you have to give them credit. They did survive Trent Richardson.
Hello? Because they have Andrew frickin' Luck. It's not fair. They happen to lose Peyton. Then they have one crappy year in which they tank for Luck. Or suck for Luck, whatever you want to call it. And then they get Andrew Luck, and he's going to be the future for the next probably 20 years, the way QBs are able to last these days. And the Texans and the Titans and the Jags will always be the beneficiary of their stupid luck getting luck. I hate them.
And to combine 2 previous ones, if they can't get Lynch, what do you think about the Colts trading for Adrian?
That'd work for me better than Lynch.
Really?
How old is Adrian Peterson?
Adrian is going to be 30 next season.
How old is Marshawn Lynch?
I believe they're the same age, relatively.
Oh. I feel like, maybe I'm crazy here, but it feels like there's less wear and tear on Lynch.
Really? I kind of agree. I feel like they're kind of the same guy in that their running style is so physical and they actually seek out contact. They're relatively the same age. I think they probably have the same number of carries or are going to be relatively close. But I don't know, Adrian, by the time he suits up at week 1 next season, is only going to have 1 game in 20 months of contact.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe you're smarter than me on this. I mean, this one thing.
Well, either way, it's going to be bad for you because that means Trent Richardson isn't starting for the Colts.
I really liked them having Trent Richardson as their premier back. That really was happy.
And the last trade before we hop into a game, Vincent Jackson, malcontent, underused down in Tampa, gets traded to the New England Patriots.
I could see that one easily. Easily.
Well, they were going to trade for Andre Johnson. That was the big hubbub before the trade deadline, right?
Was it?
I believe so. It was Andre Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald to the Patriots.
I think people just made that up. People just made that up. I don't think that was like anything that anyone had insider knowledge into, as far as I know.
All right. As far as I know is that it's time to play a little game for Sound Drop.
Play or nay?
Now it's time.
Oh my God, this is the longest sound drop ever.
Play or nay. I'm going to leave you talking over the sound drop because it's funny.
It's the longest ever. How am I supposed to stay silent that whole entire time?
That's what she said. Oh, God, I got to mark that one down. All right, so 21-20. That is the open of the show. All right. Play or nay, as always. Actually, Claire, what is the team and the parameters this time around?
I am going with asking Andrew questions about players who were drafted by the Minnesota Vikings throughout history.
Ooh. Now, drafted is the operating word here, or operative word.
Right.
Okay.
Because they all obviously played for the Vikings, but I want to know where they came from.
All right. And hand to God, I am not Googling, I'm not doing anything like that, but as always, we have our sound effects for a correct answer and an incorrect answer.
Hello.
And we have 9 questions, so there can't be any ties. I plan on rocking the hell out of Claire like a hurricane, and that's a musical reference that she'll probably not get because she is not into hair metal. But, Claire, whenever you are ready.
Man, I know the Scorps. Don't act like I don't know.
Man, I'm so cool I call them the Scorps, man.
That was what my daddy used to do. My crazy dad.
Do you call the Beatles the Beats?
No.
Those damn British Beats need a haircut.
He didn't call them that. No, he dug their hair. My dad was cool. Quit acting like he wasn't. Okay. First question. Was this player or was this player not drafted by the Minnesota Vikings? We're going to start with Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson was not drafted by the Vikings. He was drafted by the Washington professional football team.
Was he?
Yes.
Are you positive?
Yes.
That's not what the Vikings website said.
I'm going to have to question the veracity on this because, actually, shoot, he might have been drafted by the Vikings. Check his Wikipedia page.
I am right now. The Minnesota Vikings drafted Brad Johnson in the 9th round of the 1992 NFL draft.
Son of a.
Hello.
Because I know he got it started in Washington under Norv Turner. And, well, damn it.
Sorry.
I was so confident in that one, too.
0-1. You're so 0-1 right now. Hello. Okay. The next one we're going to go with is one historical Vikings player of reasonable note. A man who played tackle by the name of Grady Alderman.
I said no.
If you say no, you would be correct.
I've never heard that name before in my life. Did you just make that name up?
Really? No. I found a list of Minnesota Vikings top 50 players of all time on Vikings.com, and I selected players from that list. So I figured they would be reasonably well known.
Well, there you be. That's a little bit under the radar for me, but at least I guessed correctly.
You did, and that counts. That counts a lot.
Slop counts.
Hey, I'll take it. Okay, so we're going to go back to my list. And I think some of these are going to be kind of under the radar, but they're fun this way.
Good.
You like it that way?
Yeah, it's like when I asked you if Cedric,
I'm trying to embarrass you.
If Cedric Sabalos was an Aggie last week. No, he went to Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah. Okay, so it's fair. Okay. Let's go with a big-time draftee. He was drafted in the first round by somebody back in 1983. One Joey Browner, safety.
Yes, drafted by the Vikings.
Yes, you got it. You're now 2-1 in this exciting edition of Play or Nay.
Now, see, I remember that because he was part of the Elway to Marino documentary. And I was thinking, not too bad. We'll take Joey Browner.
Okay.
Could have had Marino, though.
Dan Marino what?
Could have had Dan Marino, though, but we'll take Joey Browner.
Yeah. Well, you know, what you gonna do. Okay, we're going to go to a current name, who very recent at least. We're going to go to a punter by the name of Chris Cluey. How'd that guy get there? Was he drafted by the Vikings? Yay or nay?
See, I know he Vikings were his first team. I don't know if he's drafted, though.
Drafted by. That's the technical question.
I know. That's why I'm deciding if he was undrafted or if he was drafted when he came in.
I'll let you decide that.
I'm going to say undrafted.
You got it.
Yes.
He was not drafted by the Vikings because he was an undrafted free agent.
But undrafted free agent at UCLA, and ironically, we did draft his replacement in 2012, Jeff Locke, sixth round, UCLA. Which was his bone of contention. Wait, no, was that 2013? Yeah, that was 2013.
Yeah, right? Yeah, kind of ironical. So, whatever.
So I am winning.
Oh, good for you.
A little bit. Now, this player, I hadn't heard of him, but he is third on the Vikings all-time receiving list, so I think that makes him a famous enough athlete within Viking circles to ask this question of.
Mm-hmm.
One tight end, Steve Jordan.
All right, Steve Jordan. Not sure if he was drafted. No, he spent a lot of his career here. Gosh. I'm going to say yes.
Well, sir, you guessed correctly.
Yes.
Yes. He was indeed drafted by the Vikings in 1982 and went on to become the most prolific tight end in Vikings history.
What school did he go to?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. He's from Arizona.
Oh, is he?
He went to school. Yeah, he went to place of birth. It doesn't have a school. Weird. He has a very small Wikipedia page.
Went from high school straight into the pros. Who knows? I know. I love it when your knees touch your elbows and break it down low.
Did you know his son is Cameron Jordan, the defensive end for New Orleans Saints?
Oh, they definitely played that up during the 2010 AFC Championship or NFC Championship game. 2009, sorry.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know. I didn't pay that close of attention. Was that when Favre was starting at quarterback for you guys?
Yeesh.
I was eating Vietnamese crawfish in San Jose, California during that game. That was a pretty cool game. I mean, I'm sorry it turned out the way it did, but it was a pretty cool game. Okay, the next question, because Andy doesn't like this discussion at all.
I just like to make you feel awkward, which doesn't take much.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm very awkward by nature. Yeah. Okay, so the next player we're going to go to is on the defensive side of the ball. He played safety. His name is Robert Griffith. And he played for the Vikings for a pretty darn long time.
Robert Griffith was, I'm pretty sure he was undrafted, but the Vikings were his first team, so I'm going to say no.
God, I hate you sometimes. How do you know these things?
Random retention of information.
Well, it sucks for me.
I couldn't even tell you my phone number right now, but I could tell you that Doug Chapman was a third-round pick out of Marshall.
Well, luckily he's not on the list.
Oh, good. That'd been so awesome if he was. You'd be so pissed.
I would be so pissed. I would start throwing things. But luckily, we're going to move back to the offensive side of the ball. We're going to go to the offensive line. We're going to go with a player who has not played in a while.
Mm-hmm.
His name is one Gary Zimmerman.
See,
do you remember Gary Zimmerman?
I do. See, I thought you were going to go cheap shot and be like, he hasn't played for a while, offensive lineman. Matt Khalil. No.
No, I didn't. I didn't do that.
All right, so Gary Zimmerman was drafted by the Vikings.
Sorry, he was not. He went through the USFL route.
Oh.
And he was drafted by the Los Angeles Express in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
And then the USFL folded in 86, and then Zimmerman joined the Vikings, and they obtained his rights from the Giants, who had drafted him in the 84 supplemental draft.
Wah, wah, wah. Screwball. That happens.
Well, you already won. You already have 5 correct, and so, you know.
It's all about pride and running up the score, because I'm Chip Kelly.
Hey, let's go with something else that's fun. Let's go with a player who is almost a household name for most football fans in this day and age. Let's go with one wide receiver, Ahmad Rashad. Was he or was he not drafted by the Minnesota Vikings?
Ahmad Rashad was drafted by the Vikings.
Bzzz.